Hey, welcome to another edition of This Ain't No Game. This week's very heartfelt movie is Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Now, this is a pretty unique case for a video game movie because it's not directly based on any specific game. It's more just kind of within the spirit of the Final Fantasy franchise. This is also probably the most ambitious video game movie ever made. Square spent millions and millions and millions of dollars developing the technology to do all this hyper-realistic CG, and then the movie was a miserable failure at the box office, and Square almost went out of business because of it, so there's some really excellent backstory behind it.
Yeah. Nice to see you too.
Now, the story of the movie itself isn't based on any specific Final Fantasy game, but it does have that Final Fantasy vibe. You know, there's going to be a character named Sid, and there's going to be a lot of talk about spirituality and just kind of really lame, touchy-feely stuff.
Through their experiences on Earth, each spirit matures and grows. When the physical body dies, the mature spirit, enriched by its life on Earth, returns to Gaia.
So this takes place in near future Earth, where almost all life has been wiped out by this alien presence known as phantoms. They came on a meteor that crashed into Earth, and they're the crazy kind of ghostly energy beings that like awesomely swipe the souls out of people, killing them instantly. It looks pretty rad. The main character, Aki, voiced by, Tang favorite Ming Na, she's working with Dr. Sid, voiced by Donald Sutherland, to figure out some way to get rid of the phantoms. And how they're doing it is with spirits. They're searching for the spirits and the Earth Mother Gaia, and there's a non-stop awful conversations about Gaia and spirits and phantoms. In fact, if you want to just get blind, stinking drunk while you're watching Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, point one, it'll make the movie a lot better. Point two, you can do it really quickly if you just have a drink anytime someone says phantom.
Phantoms.
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 Phantom.
Phantoms.
Phantom. Phantom.
Phantom. Phantom. Phantoms.
Spirit,
I thought we weren't supposed to use the S word.
or Gaia.
You mean the spirit of the earth?
Spirit.
Gaia.
Spirit.
Phantoms.
Like 15 minutes in, you'll be gone.
These spirits are coming out of this Gaia thing.
Now, while the Earth forces are fighting against the phantoms, the real evil is, of course, man. Who better to depict man's inhumanity towards man than my man, James Woods? You can tell from the first second he's on screen with his super evil eyebrows that he's going to be the evil guy. And man, he lives up to it, being just evil constantly and having an evil, condescending voice and delivering awesome evil diatribes like this one.
Doctor, with all due respect, did you come here just to talk about some Gaia theory? To tell us that the planet is alive? That it has a spirit? That's a fairy tale, Doctor. And I'm sorry, but we don't have time for that.
It is not a fairy tale. It is true.
So if I point a gun at the Earth and fire, I'm not just making a hole in the ground, I'm killing the planet.
Of course, it wouldn't be Final Fantasy without some awkward romantic storyline going on in there. And we get that between Aki and the character of Gray, voiced by Alec Baldwin. There's lots of just kind of wistful looks at each other and tense conversations and lots of almost kisses, such as this one, which is set up by Steve Buscemi's character, who locks them into this situation on purpose.
Hurry up, Neil.
Relax, Sarge, I've almost got it.
What do you think you're doing?
We're just gonna strand them for a while. Hey, don't look at me, it was his idea.
This was your idea?
We're just helping the captain out a little.
Yeah, come on, Jane, where's your sense of romance?
See how the captain looks at it.
It's amore, baby.
So as the movie progresses, the problem with the phantoms just gets worse and worse, and James Woods has his plans to get rid of the phantoms, and that just makes the phantoms worse, while Sid and Aki are trying to do their touchy-feely spirits thing. Gotta find all the spirits. Maybe that'll fix the phantoms problem. And it all comes to a fevered pitch at the very end, where it just explodes with like quasi-spiritualistic nonsense, where you just really aren't even sure what's going on, and there's red energy and there's blue energy, and then there's an eagle. But another big problem that Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within suffers from is the fact that this is really the dictionary definition of the Uncanny Valley. You look it up in the dictionary, Uncanny Valley, Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within. Yeah, I think it actually looks pretty good as far as the CG goes. I think the general look of the movie, kind of the near futuristic stuff, it looks fine. And in stills, all the characters look really good too. They look pretty realistic. It's just that when they start talking, when they start trying to emote, you can tell that these are just masks. They really look like people are just wearing masks because everyone's just not emoting quite enough, and their faces don't quite move enough to make it seem realistic. And it's really off-putting and jarring, and it sucks really the life out of any of the dramatic moments that the movie tries to have, which are many. Now, most Final Fantasy games, they have more than their fair share of melodramatic crap, but the reason it works is because they kind of counterbalance it with really awesome, crazy action set pieces. Now, there are some gorgeous looking moments in Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, but the ratio is way off. There is way more just navel-gazing dialogue than there is big, rad set pieces. And that's really the big flaw in The Spirits Within.
I don't understand.
You don't have to understand.
There's really a lot of great reasons why Final Fantasy The Spirits Within failed at the box office. It doesn't tie into any of the Final Fantasy games, so Final Fantasy fans don't really have anything to look forward to. There's no Sephiroth in here. Spoilers. But it's also navel-gazing in that same way, like I said, without having big action payoffs. And there's the whole Uncanny Valley thing. It's just got loads and loads of problems. So it never really has something that's going to satisfy a big Hollywood audience, which is what that budget that movie had demanded. And there's not enough, kind of callbacks and stuff for fans to really satisfy them. So it's truly a big, expensive movie for nobody.
This is it. This is our evidence.
And that's going to do it for this week's edition of This Ain't No Game. I'm Ryan Davis, reminding you that even the Earth Mother Gaia
You mean the spirit of the earth?
can't prevent the common cold.